how to get every single collectible on the new zone, the Siren Isle. That's everything we're going to cover in this video. All the mounts, all the pets, the new currency, and all the things you can buy with it. Also all the achievements that you'll be able to get on the Isle as well, which will come with a mount as well, that meta mount. I'll show you how to get all of these things in this video. If you've already spent some time on the Isle, then use the timestamps at the bottom to just go to the bits that you need to see. I will also be posting other videos that are included within this video, kind of standalone versions. So if you've seen them, just feel free to skip along the bottom as well to skip that part of the guide. All the timestamps, I hope, should be in the description or in the pinned comment or in the comments. And if I have missed anything, guys, please comment down below. I'm sure there was a few bits here and there that I might have missed. Let's jump right into it. So let's kick things off first of all with the new currency coming with the Isle. It's called Flame Blessed Iron, and you're going to get it from lots of different sources across the zone. Pretty much everything you do within the zone is going to award you with this currency. In total, by my calculations, you're going to need between 80 and 100,000 of this currency to unlock everything, which maybe sounds like quite a bit, but it's actually going to come in pretty fast. And if you're running a few different characters through the Isle for catch-up gear and things like that, then it should be coming in pretty quickly. The sources and amounts for this currency are on the screen here. We have the common mobs dropping between 1 and 5, elite mobs dropping between 5 and 25, rare mobs dropping between 100 and 150 on the first kill of the day, and a reduced amount on further kills on that same day. Without a lot of data, on my second kill of a few rares, I got between 30 and 70 on that same day. And I'm not 100% sure if this resets daily or across characters yet. It's sometimes difficult to say these things for sure until it actually is live, just to make sure that we're getting the right information out there. But if I had to guess, I would assume it is going to be daily. The chests also awarding between 25 and 75. Each one of those you pick up. And the major excavation events award between 150 and 250 from looting the boss that you will kill on that first time of the day as well, or maybe on the week. I'm not sure about this one. And then it was between 80 and 100 after that, just even on the same day. So you can kind of infinitely farm these things as well, still getting a decent amount as well. So there are 3 of these events which are triggered when enough players donate their Flame Blessed Iron to the map in the center of the main camp. It's probably one of the first things you're going to do when you get to the Isle is contribute to this. Then finally, you get 200 for each one of the quests you complete through the week, and these reset each week. You'll get a new batch of them, I believe, and these are each going to award 200 as well. Honestly, the main takeaway from this for the currency and farming all of these different items is basically to just go out of your way to kill each rare when they're up, do each major event when it's up, and just pick up every treasure chest that you see whilst you're questing in the area and working your way through the storyline and everything else like that. And if you kind of stick to that plan, you're going to rack these up pretty quick, and you should be able to unlock everything fairly quickly. So what is this currency going to award you? So some of the standout items, I'm not going to go through every single item because there is a lot here, if you can imagine, because we need 80 to 100,000 of it. But some of the standout ones were the So Easy's vintage wave shredder mount that you can see here. He also has a comfy lawn chair toy as well, some massive chalice transmogs as well, and some pitchers too. Also some backpack transmogs and a bunch of beach and pirate transmogs, and loads more, but these were the ones that stood out to me personally. You guys might have other ones that you're more interested in as well. But yeah, this point of this video is to just let you know that you need to farm a decent amount of this, probably up to 100,000, to unlock all of the different things from these vendors. On the screen here, you can see each of these vendors in that main camp, where to find them, and you can just go up to them and see what they sell and decide which order you want to pick up all of these different items in. But here they are on the map, and so you can go and check out what they have got on offer. Okay, now onto the mounts, which are specific to the island, and they're not going to be obtained via that Flame Blessed Iron. The first one we're going to go through is Thrayir, Eyes of the Siren, the Stormcrow mount that you've probably seen all over the place, that was data mined like 10 years ago, and it is finally available on this island. So let's jump into that one. All parts of this mount unlock take place in the Storm. So to enter the storm, you need to complete the main world quest of the zone. Basically, just complete a few of the weekly quests and kill a few rares, and you will get that unlocked. After you've done that, you can enter and leave the storm anytime throughout the week. On top of this, you will need some of the abilities and unlocks you get from the main quest line, so just make sure to do this first. So for this mount, you need to loot 5 different rune keys, and then using them during a storm on these rune stones, which you will find in the room to the left at the end of the corridor within the Forgotten Vault. You'll come here during the first quest line, which you should have done by this point. After you've used all 5, the bird will come alive and you can speak to it to pick up a quest and get the mount immediately upon completion. So where do we get these rune keys from? Let's chat through the most efficient way to grab all of these. The torrential rune key is made up of 7 torrential fragments, which appear to drop from any mob during the storm. So basically, as you're completing the other steps, just make sure you're kind of killing everything in your path just to speed up the process of getting this one. If you still haven't gained it by the time we head into the Forgotten Vault, you can maybe just kill the mobs outside the Forgotten Vault until you pick these up. Whilst doing this, you should be looking for all treasure chests as well, including the storm caches, which will become available once you've completed the initial main storyline. You will get the extra action button that you need, the Runecaster's Eye. Basically, loot any chests and they have a chance to drop one of these thunderous fragments, and you need a total of 5 of these to combine and make the thunderous rune key. So keep looting the chests until you have all 5 of these. The next one appears to drop from a specific rare in the storm, which is Zek-Ul the Shipbreaker. This rare does seem to always be available. I'm not 100% sure on the respawn timer at the moment. And also the other big question for the Cyclonic Rune Key is the drop rate as well. For me on the PTR, I got this on my very first kill, but as there's been a few builds since then, people are now claiming that it's maybe not 100% drop chance. So you might need to kill this rare quite a few times before you pick this one up. Whether this is a weekly lockout as well, I'm also not 100% sure, I'm afraid, so it might be worth trying to kill this rare on multiple different characters, and whichever one gets this rune key should be able to then pick up the rest of the rune keys fairly easily. This one might be the one that gates things a little bit if the drop chance is low. Also, to pick up the Turbulent Rune Key, you need to combine 3 Turbulent Fragments. You're going to find these in 3 specific locations, and I've got the coordinates for those in the description, and here they are on the map as well. As far as I can tell, it doesn't need to be in any particular order that you pick these up, and basically they are they're very small and difficult to see. I always recommend using the interact key for things like this, as you don't need to click on them, you can just interact when you're close. Here they are, videos of each one as well, so you can see where they are, and you just need to pick up all 3 of these and combine them to make the Turbulent Rune Key. Okay, so at this point you can head to the Forgotten Vault. Make sure you are still in the storm as well, that's really important. And if you haven't looted enough of those fragments, the torrential fragments, for the torrential rune key, you can make sure that you farm enough mobs there to pick those up before heading into the Forgotten Vault. But if you have that one, it's time to head inside as well. And we are just missing one more rune key, the Whirling Rune Key. This one is going to come from, how do I say this? Sphere the Forgotten, and he's going to be at the end of the hall after entering. Kill him and loot that rune key, and then we want to head back out of his room and into the room which would be on your right or your left if you're just coming straight into the Forgotten Vault, and you will see all the rune stones. So all we have to do now is go up and interact with each rune stone, and after you've done that, Thrayir will come to life and you can accept that quest and complete it to loot the mount. If you're having trouble interacting with the rune stones, you will notice that you do need to be in the storm, so that could be your issue. And the next mount we will talk about is the Breaker's Song, which comes from the meta achievement on the Isle. The achievement is called I'll Remember You, and it involves 6 different achievements to unlock the mount, and you can start working on these as soon as you arrive on the island. I'll go through all of them now, and you can be working on this whilst doing all of the other things whilst you're working your way through. The first one I want to talk about is Cleanup on Isle Siren, or essentially the Adventurer achievement for this zone. In terms of the spawns, I believe it is a weekly rotation of the rares. Not all of the rares though. Some of them will be there every week, and then some of them will get cycled out, mainly the ones on the lower half of the map. You can see them all here on the screen, the ones that we need to pick up. They're fairly easy to kill in general. I managed to solo all of them on the PTR, but on launch, they're all going to be dying really fast, right? There's going to be people everywhere. I would say, and that's why I chose this achievement first, that you should just be going for these and prioritizing them above everything else that you're doing to get this achievement done as quickly as possible, because some of them are time gated. You can go through the later steps when there aren't any rares up, but if you see one spawn, it is worth your time to go and try and get that progress. The respawns for most of these are not too crazy, but if you've only got a few hours here and there, you probably want to try and get to them as quick as possible. 3 of the rares on the map here are from the Excavation projects, which we will chat about in the next achievement. But basically, these ones you're going to go and just kill. These are going to be very straightforward. They should be up quite often. So to try and give you a bit more information on the rares that you'll be able to get each week, I have as much information as I could work out during the PTR. It seems like in one week, or in every week, sorry, we have Snacker, Grimgull, and Ghostmaker. The rares are kind of along the top of the map. These seem to be consistent every week. And then the lower half of the map is where we have some variation. One week we seem to have Coral Weaver, Calysso, Cirrus the Sea Scorpion, Wreckwater, and Bloodbrine all appearing on that bottom half of the map. And then the following week, we seem to have had again Snacker, Grimgull, and Ghostmaker, and then different variations here. The brand new ones are Chef, Chum Platter, and Plankmaster. Blue Belly. These ones seem to only appear during that week. And then it seemed like Bloodbrine and a new one, Ikir the Flot Surge, kind of seemed to have a spawn between each other, as I definitely saw both of them up during this week, which maybe doesn't make sense, but it seemed to be the case on the PTR. And then the next week after that, again, all the same ones as I mentioned before. And then we have Wreckwater, and I'm not sure about Bloodbrine, and then definitely Ikir the Flot Surge again, and Asbjorn the Blood Soaked as well. And that should be most of them. I know that's not exactly 100% on when these are going to be up, but essentially they all spawn in the same kind of places, and they're on your map, and the island is very small, so you really shouldn't have any issue with finding these. So that's us ticked off most of them. The last 2 are Shard Song and Gunlod the Sea Drinker, which are in the left and right rooms in the Vault of the Forgotten, which is an area you will go to during the main storyline, but it's basically underneath the zone. You go into a kind of cave and then through a portal, and then you find yourself in this kind of underground area, and two of the rares for this achievement are found under there as well. Okay, and on to the second achievement is the Excavation Projects achievement. You can see it on the screen here. All we need to do is contribute to each of the different projects. Essentially, on the Siren Isle, you will loot Flame Blessed Iron from all sources, and then you can donate that towards the 3 different projects, which will spawn a mini boss. Each one of these is also part of the Cleanup on Isle Siren achievement that we spoke about before. You only have to donate 5 to each project to get the achievement, and 5 is not very much, so you can get this one almost immediately. The only time you cannot donate is when the mini boss is currently active, so get this done quick and just keep checking whenever it is up. I imagine they will get maxed out pretty quickly on launch, so get in there quick and get this achievement done. After that, we have this one, A Song of Secrets. For this one, all we need to do is follow the Siren Isle main story, and you will get this achievement at the end. There are 12 quests total, which set you up for your adventures on the Siren Isle. I would complete this one whilst keeping an eye out for the rares to get this all done as quickly as possible. The next achievement we have, and the one you won't be able to do until you've completed A Song of Secrets, is Treasures of the Storm, which we need to loot 10 different storm caches. So after you've completed the main storyline, you will then gain the ability to see the storm caches within the storm and outside of the storm as well. These are chests which you will notice a kind of trail of wind leading you towards them when you are in range. There's also a sound effect when you first get the wind trail, and you need to follow this trail and use the Runecaster's Eye ability, which I believe you do gain from that final quest of the A Song of Secrets storyline. These chests seem to spawn all over the island during both the storm and the regular phase. None seem to be in the sea though, as far as I can tell, so just all over the island. Don't go and farm all these yet though until you have headed back to the main base to pick up all of your possible weekly quests. So speaking of weekly quests, the reason I've brought that up now is for our next achievement, Siren-ity Now, which needs you to complete a total of 17 weekly quests. Now you could potentially do this earlier, but I wasn't 100% sure if these would be available from the start as soon as you arrive on the island, or if they open up and unlock after you complete the main story. Either way, pick them up as soon as you can if you haven't already done that, and it seems like you will need around 3 weeks to get the achievement. At least that's how long it took me on the PTR, unless they time gate it harder when it goes live. You will notice these quests on your map if there are any you are missing for the week. So keep an eye on the map and just grab all of those different weekly quests. So take your time across 3 weeks to complete all of those, and you will get this achievement done as well. Okay, one more achievement to go, Acquire of Citrines. To unlock this one, as you can see on the screen, we need to gather all possible gems for the new ring that we unlock on the Isle. There are 12 gems total, and you will unlock these as you go. The first one you should get is the Windsinger's Rune Citrine, which you should unlock when you get your ring, and that's from the main storyline progress. The next two are the Thunderlord's Crackling Citrine and the Mariner's Hallowed Citrine. Both of these, I believe, come from the Excavation events, one from the Drain and the other from the Drowned Lair. And then it appears that all of the others will come from the world quest on the Isle, Serpent's Wrath. These will be changing weekly. I assume after 9 weeks you should have all of them done. This wasn't actually available on the PTR, and I have gotten this information from Moody's website, The World of Moody. So hopefully, I don't even know how he found this out, because I was trying to figure it out for a long time during the PTR and I never figured this out. So he seems to have some insider information, or he worked it out better than me. So shout out to Moody for figuring that out, and I appreciate that, because this was driving me a bit crazy. But yeah, after 9 weeks, but 9 weeks does feel quite a heavy time gate on this achievement compared with the rest of the achievements. So let's see if this is how it works on the live build. But yeah, it might take 9 weeks to complete this achievement fully. Let's hope it's easier, but yeah, it might be 9 weeks to get all of those gems. You should have everything else done within 3, and then 9 weeks to do this one. The next mount is the Prismatic Snapdragon mount. This one is one of those classic raise the mount up through dailies quests by basically feeding it. There are 10 daily quests total, and I'm not 100% sure if these are just daily quests or if you need to wait a few more days between you getting each quest. It felt like that on the PTR, but obviously the PTR is not 100% correct, so it was a little bit difficult to work out. I know there is 10 in total. Whether this is going to be gated similar to the Raptor in the Emerald Dream, where you had to just come back after a certain number of days, we'll probably get more information on that as the time goes on. This mount is quite unique though, in that it can gain lots of different colors. You do this by feeding it these Snapdragon treats, and there is, I believe, 8 in total, and I'm going to go through where you get each of these from as well. The way that this works basically is when you get the treat, you can then use that and then summon the Prismatic Snapdragon, and it will take on the color of the treat that you have just used. Now, when you use them up, or when you gain them, sorry, there is an NPC within the main camp that is surrounded by Snapdragons, and he is going to sell these treats for Flame Blessed Iron, so you can use them as many times as you like if you buy them from him. So let's go through all of the ones that I have found on the PTR. There is one that I haven't quite found, but I can guess probably where it's coming from, and again, I'll put that one in the comments when we do work it out. I'll also show on screen the different colors and which treats are associated with them, so you guys can see what you are looking for. Also, these treats are only available to loot after you have unlocked the mount. I should make that really clear as well. So don't try and farm them until you have the mount unlocked. The first one being the teal variant, which comes from just unlocking the mount. That's the one it's going to start with, and you are awarded the treat as well when you finish the quest. The next one being the sandy treat. This one comes from the seafarers' caches, which are the chests that are in the sea surrounding the island. So open enough of those and eventually you should get the sandy one as well. The royal color comes from the Naga on the island, which is one of the kind of themes that the island has for 1 week, and then it changes to different NPCs, and then you won't be able to get that one, as far as I understand, until that week rolls back around. I believe there's 3 weeks changing from one to the other, so this one will not be available until you have Naga on the island and you can kill enough of those to loot the royal color from them. The Verkle drop the muddy one. I got this one from the Verkle on the beach outside the Forgotten Vault. I also have no idea if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but hopefully. Then also coming from random NPCs, we have the Crimson one, which is coming from the Pirates, which is similar to the Naga, is just one of the variants of the island, one of the weeks. So enough pirates killed and you're eventually going to get the Crimson one as well. The Kaja Cola braised one comes from the chef in the main camp, and he's going to just give you that one basically. And then the storm infused one drops from any mobs in the storm phase. The final one that I haven't managed to find is the inky one, which I assume is from the NPCs that are going to come in that 3rd week of the kind of rotating NPCs, I assume. I haven't found it anywhere else, and I haven't been able to test this because when I got the mount, I've only been able to go through 2 weeks of the different NPCs to see where that one comes from. But each one so far, which has been the Naga and the Pirates, have both given one. So I'm assuming the 3rd one is going to come from that 3rd week, but I'll keep it update in the comments because that might not be the case. And that is it for the mounts on the Isle. Now, next, let's talk about the pets you can get. One of them involves a little bit more effort. The pet you will receive on the screen here is called Marmaduke, and you need to complete a quest chain to get this one started. The quest begins in the main room of the Forgotten Vault, which has the big crystal. As you go into the Forgotten Vault, you just head straight all the way through, and there will be this book on the ground with the quest available. I'm not sure exactly if this is a gated behind like main story progress, but it could be if you don't see it. If the book is there, start the quest and complete that chain. After you finish the final quest called Laid to Rest at Last, you should be able to interact with the stuffed toy, which is located here on the map. And as we go inside, you'll see it in this central building at the top of the stair on the left as you go along the end of the walkway, and it's just up against the wall there. Also, for some reason, I had to wait around 30 minutes for this to become interactable after I completed the final quest. I also did zone into the storm and out of the storm. I'm not sure if that had made a difference as well. So if you can't interact with this, just hang tight, see if it becomes available after a little bit of time. Maybe go in and out of the storm as well. Once you have the stuffed toy, all we need to do is find Marmaduke. He's a small dog that runs around near the base of the cliffs that the central building is on, like back towards the main encampment. Just make a macro to target him and hit it as you travel back towards the main encampment and back. Once you find him, give him the stuffed toy and he should disappear. If you can't find him, try in the storm as well, because I've found him in both the storm and outside of the storm, but there's been lots of different experiences on trying to pick up this pet. Once he has that toy, you can head back to the base camp and you'll see him there with a quest. If you accept that and complete it, you will get him as a pet. So the other battle pets on the Isle, there is 8 in total, as far as I'm aware anyway. And most of these are very straightforward. The only thing I'll mention is that as the week change the NPCs on the island, I think there's 3 different options of kind of themes. One's pirates, one is Naga, and then I think there's a third as well, which I can't remember off the top of my head now. But there's different battle pets available during these times, so they are slightly time gated, but you just need to wait until that week comes around again. For example, the Pillaged Parrot is available during the Pirate Week, and I haven't worked out if there's other ones that are gated as well, but that one definitely is only available during the Pirate Week. Also, one that you wouldn't find immediately would probably be Crackle Roar, which is a kind of storm wyvern, which comes from the Storm Touched Pride Talons. Personally, I never looted this on the PTR, but that is where Wowhead seems to state that this battle pet comes from. So hopefully that is the location, and we've picked that one up fairly easily from those Storm Touched Pride Talons, which are inside the storm as well. There's also a few more coming from the vendors with the Flame Blessed Iron as well. Okay, and then on to the final thing I wanted to mention. It's just about the Transmog. There isn't anything that interesting to mention. The only thing is that there's pieces you will loot from chests, rares, and enemies on the island, but these can also be bought for the Flame Blessed Iron, so it's not a big deal. This is kind of the catch-up gear, so you'll get it from all the kind of sources on the island, and also you can just buy it with the iron. But there will also be some pieces scattered around the island which you can interact with, as well as in the crates you will get from the excavations. I don't have a full list of these at the moment, as they haven't been completely discovered, but keep your eyes peeled and you will pick up some of these green items. Here's a few that I got on the screen here as examples. So from the chests, from the major excavations is one spot that I've got these from, and then there's been a few that have been just like treasures in the map, and I've got a few of those on screen here as well. Keep your eyes peeled, and I'm sure more information will come out about the location of all of these, but I haven't quite found them yet. So guys, that is it for all the different items and sources on the new zone Siren Isle. I hope this has made you guys have an easier time finding all of these different items, and I would just want to say a big thank you to the guys over on the Secret Finding Discord and on All the Things Discord as well. They obviously helped out with a few of the different bits of information for this, which was really helpful. And yeah, it's hard to get information for every single piece, which was kind of my goal, but hopefully you guys have still found this really helpful. Also shout out to Moody from the website World of Moody, because he seemed to have the information on the Choir of Citrines, which is that achievement on where to get all the different Citrines for the new ring that's coming. And yeah, I just wanted to say a thank you for that, because I was looking for information on that for ages, and I just could not work out where these different ones were coming from, but he has said that they are meant to be coming per week from the kind of main world quest that you get on the Isle. I'm not sure how he figured that out, because I just couldn't find that anywhere, but if that is the case, that's great. At least we know now as well. So that didn't come from me, that was just from him posting an article on that. So thank you so much for that as well. As always, guys, love you all. Work is crazy busy at the moment, and we're just going into the ski season, and as a ski instructor, it's busy time. So we already have a lot of snow, which is wicked, but yeah, I'm going to be super busy through the winter, so we'll see how much I can put out as well. But stay tuned, subscribe for more. I've definitely got a lot more in the works, but it's yeah, it's gonna be a bit of effort, so let's see. Peace.